Curios, use the Force! Hello, Curiosities! It is day 7 of NaNoWriMo. I took a break, gave myself a little weekend, 2 days of making videos for you, but I want to check in. How are you doing? How is life? Where are you? What's your word count? Are you doing word count? Update me in the comments of what's going on. Have you checked out the Discord yet? Because I'm seeing it like explode and people talking and it's great and my heart is just all full and you guys are like encouraging each other and cheering each other on. It's amazing! And that support network is kind of what I want to talk to you about today in regards to your story. So, you're about 7 days in, maybe you're like me, you're not writing every day because you've got a smaller writing goal, you're also doing other creative projects, but if you are writing, you're going to start probably introducing side characters at this point, including your main sidekick, or maybe you've got an ensemble cast. Great. So, here is a big problem we run into in a lot of fiction, and we see this even with professional works of fiction. Flesh out your side characters. This is so important. So I want you to just take like a day, if you can, like after you've done your writing goal or whatnot, depending if you don't need to hit like a specific word count, great. Just take a day and really give some thought into those characters that you've introduced. Like some behind the scenes work. If this had been their story, if it had, what would their norm have been before they met the hero? What was their status quo? What were their goals? What were their wants, their desires, their fears? Just ponder that over, mull it. Because even if it doesn't technically, even if you don't put it directly in the exposition or have a character say it, it is going to inform their actions. It is all about, people are multifaceted, they're not flat. We run in so many times where there's a movie or even a book, that is too bright still to do that, where the best friend or the love interest, gosh, female characters have this problem all the time, where they are just portrayed as this flat cardboard piece whose only goal is to serve the protagonist. And no character should be there for that reason. No, because that's not how people are. It's not believable. It doesn't make us endeared to them. Like, if we look at, maybe you're not a Harry Potter fan, but it's the first thing that came to my mind because I grew up with it when I was 11, and unfortunately it's now got a lot of problems, but I'm going to talk about the original series and what that meant to me. But Hermione, we immediately knew who this girl was. Yes, she's the brains or whatnot, but she also comes from like a completely human-born, muggle-born family. There's no magic. She's the first of her kind. So of course it makes sense that, like, because think about it, if we like grew up in a very mundane world and, you know, our family was, both her parents are dentists, she has a very normal sort of life, and then found out, boom, girl, you have magic. Like, that would turn your entire world upside down. So of course Hermione's a giant nerd. She's like, how is everybody else not completely excited about everything about this world? Like, you guys have magic, all of these things. Like, up until this point, she was probably, I don't want to say sterile, but you know what I kind of mean? Like, sterile hassle. Like, her parents loved her, there's no doubt with that. But when you think of like a dentist, you kind of get a sort of image in your head, no offense to any dentist, of like, you know, a very like, oh, you know, no candy and like sort of stricter and no nonsense sort of household. And then you find out, guys, magic is real. And to me, that is something I find so endearing about Hermione is, yes, she is a bit of a know-it-all when you first meet her, but her reasonings for being one, like when you understand her journey, you're like, why aren't more people like this? Because of course she like dove in and read everything she possibly could, because the moment you find out as an 11-year-old, by the way, magic is real, like, she's one of those few who's like, how are you taking this for granted? The fact that like Harry doesn't immediately go and devour all books is actually something that I found very confusing to me as a child. Like, dude, you found out that one, you're a wizard. Two, your family were apparently really good wizards. 3, you're famous. Like, how do you not go and try to read everything you possibly can the moment you have access to it? Harry, come on. Come on. Spoilers, I heavily identify with Hermione when it comes to her study and research habits. Shocked face. Point being, everyone is a culmination of their experiences and how they've decided to respond to them. So, bear that in mind with every character you run into. With the exception, like, obviously you shouldn't have to give too much in-depth thought into, like, that one grocery store clerk that they talk to for, like, 2 lines and then they're never seen again, or what have you. You should at least try to, like, this is a very method acting way of going about it, but I'm from theater, so I don't know what to tell you. This should be a world that you can see in your mind as you're creating it. And don't be afraid to stop and not just be so focused on word count. I know that's a terrible thing to say during NaNoWriMo, but hey, we're doing it differently here. But to stop and just really picture that scene they're in. Like, if you're finding yourself stuck, really take that moment to just go, okay, if I'm here, then what's going on? And what does it look like? Who's this person? And sort of like take that, if you're living in that moment, I do this thing where I can picture it and I can sort of maneuver into that particular character's space and move backwards and forwards in time. And for me, that really helps, and that might seem a little crazy pants, I don't know. I have my methods, I'm sure you'll have yours. My main point here is make sure that your protagonist's friends are given the same consideration that your protagonist is, as well as their enemies, to be honest. Because we also have a problem, and I talked a little bit about this briefly before, with villains also being very flat, two-dimensional, and it's never interesting. Going back to Harry Potter, when you think about it, obviously, like, we don't like Voldemort, Voldemort's bad, blah, 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 but he's this weird, cartoony, like, so evil that we can't really relate to him in any way. But the person that we really find ourselves truly hating, in my experience, is Dolores Umbridge. And that is because we have all known at some point in our lives a Dolores Umbridge. Because that is somebody that you will actually encounter in life. Somebody who is condescending and cruel and hurt kind of anyone in their path and feel justified in it. Because Dolores Umbridge does not believe she's evil. Dolores Umbridge believes she's right, and that's what makes her terrifying. Whereas Voldemort knows he's evil, and that's just, I don't know, guys. I got issues with Voldemort, like. But at the end of the day, he's kind of cartoony in his like, I am the Dark Lord, yes. So that is my advice to you, my beautiful, beautiful curios. Get to know your characters, get to know your heroes, get to know their friends, get to know their family, get to know their villains, their arch nemesis, and even just their all-out rivals. Get to know them. Flesh them out. Have fun. And if you get stuck, if you want advice, as always, come find us on the Discord. Don't forget to share and like and subscribe and boop that notification button if you haven't already. It lets you know anytime I post a new video. And of course, most importantly, stay curious.